Alright, what's up everybody? This is Project 8, or Program 8, and I already submitted the picture and stuff, but if you wanted to figure out how it worked, then this is a good way. This is also a good way to review. I'm going to be going over some parts of the review, from what I believe, or at least what I know, so it's not going to be perfect, but we'll see what happens. And alright, so we got the dividend. That is the whole number that you put in. The divisor is what the dividend, the whole number, is going to be divided by. So let's say we put in 100 for the whole number and 5. This is the example they said at the end of class, if anyone was paying attention. The quotient's 20, the remainder is 0. That's because 5 goes into 100 20 times, and there's no remainder. If you put 1 in, 101, there's going to be a remainder of 1, and it's going to be 20.25. Because 20 times 5 is 100, and then 5 times 0.2 is 1. So that gives you 101. And yeah, that's how that's supposed to work. Anyway, here is the code, and that's also on the picture too. The reason that it's long is because you want to be able to have huge numbers. Same with this. You want single here because the quotient is obviously most likely not going to be a whole number. It's going to be a decimal, and the single is good for decimals that are not currency. So that's why we don't use the two-string C. If we did the parentheses apostrophe C, this would be decimal. So yeah, you basically get that. It's very, very simple. This is just normal dividing, and then dividend mod, because it's getting the remainder of that. And you're hearing my game music in the background. That's Half-Life, or Gary's mod, sorry. Sorry about that, forgot about that. Anyway, so that's that. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. And this is the review that he gave us. That is right there. And
one more song tonight by Trap. This
yeah.
is Repeat Offender. Thanks for listening. This is The Edge on KDSU. I'll be back on Tuesday at 8. More rock and metal.
That was Taylor Canas. Anyway, here we go.
For all of you DSU people, KDSU is having chill out sessions Wednesday nights at 6:30. Just swing by. If you got
Actually,
time.
it's 6 to 9. Anyway, okay, so we got sequence, selection, and repetition. Short are going to be whole numbers. Decimal, like I said, are going to be dollar amounts, currency. Long is whole numbers, huge numbers. Integer, whole numbers that can go to infinity. String is obviously just going to be, characters, usually non numbers, so it's just going to be letters, A through Z. Single is decimals, but that is non-dollar amounts. Same with double. So dim, varname, as, data type. These are all data types. Variables and constants. Constants can only be declared at the beginning. You can never change what their value is. Their value is always going to be the same. So if I were to put in if I were to change this to constant as long equals to 30, then can't equal that. We'll just do that. If we run this, now it doesn't matter what you put in here, so you can put anything in there. It's always going to run it as 30. So we'll do divide by 3, so it's going to be 10. See? Like, if you change this to something else, it's just going to be the same. Because constant never changes. It's always going to be the same, and that's why this came up as a squiggly, is because you cannot declare it. See, constant cannot be the target of an assignment. Well, yeah. You can't declare a constant after you've declared it. You can only declare it once. So we'll just undo all that. Whoops. That's strange. I just learned something new right there. Anyway, naming conventions. Yeah, these are for the variable names. So if you have a long variable, it's going to be LNG. He doesn't say it there, but yeah. Show for short, str for string, dec for decimal, sng for single. Basically, you're just getting rid of the vowels, except in this case and that case. Text box, of course, text. You get all that stuff. Picture box, pic, yeah. Most of it's self-explanatory, pretty easy. Let's see, variable names, constants, yeah. It can only be letters, no numbers, and there's no spaces, no special characters, which means like nothing like this, you can't use that stuff. The only thing that it allows, oh no, sorry, that's in text, was the and thing, so don't worry about it still, just letters. Initializing, so yeah. When you set a variable like this, dim, whatever is long, after you set that, it's automatically set to 0. So if you never declare it down here again, or like if this wasn't here, it would be 0, and then all this would be errors. Visual Basic is very, very particular in how you're supposed to write it down. And yeah, that's for numbers. Strings turn into null. So if this was as string, it would be null rather than 0, causing even more problems. Declarations, input processing. Yeah. So this is just, again, this, declarations, inputs, processing, outputs. What he constantly talks about, IOP. Or IPO. Sorry, I'm used to other coding where it's operations per second. Yeah, you're pretty sure you get all this. Where text boxes are the inputs, processing is calculations, the algorithms and stuff. What you use to get the outputs. Kind of like f of x in algebra and stuff, college algebra, whatever. It's whatever you put in for the x is basically what you're putting in up here. And here. Oops. Events, controls, and properties are like verbs, nouns, and adjectives. What he means is that an event is a verb. What do you do to cause something to happen? That's where all this mumbo jumbo up here comes into handy. These are known as functions, so it would be like saying f of x, or f of button calc, click, all this junk. And like basically this means nothing. I could literally name this whatever I wanted to and it wouldn't affect it. This right here, the handles, this is what matters. Okay? It's saying that the button.calc right there, when you double click on it, that's what it automatically writes all this stuff for you up here. That and then the end sub. So notice how the name of this, not the text, the name is button calc, just like the function is, or in this case sub. I call them functions because in every other freaking language it's always function. And it's just saying sender as system.object. So the object is the button. So if I were to have it print or trace sender dot to string, it should oh, there's build errors. Okay, I can't remember what it is. Oh, message box. Here we go. That should work. So when I click this, it's gonna say system.form button text at cap. So it brings the entire information up for the entire button. It's pretty cool. Again, it causes errors because you're not supposed to do that. Okay. And then E as system.eventArgs. So E, if you were to do the message box E, it would say mouse click or something like that, or click, I believe. Message box E. Oops. There. Yeah, mouse. Oh, mouse event args. There we go. So the arguments of the clicking the button. So it could be, I think you could do like E2string or E1 like this. That's something we'll get into later. Is arrays. Something pretty cool. Again, if you guys want me to, like, you know, go on or try to make something in Visual Basic, if you're trying to, you know, get ahead in class, whatever, if you're that kind of person, I don't know, I would, but I love this stuff. Just, you know, go ahead and send me a message or whatever, post something on here, and yeah, we'll get back to the notes. So that's what the event is. The control is the noun, okay? Controls are known as the buttons. Anything that's over here is a control. See, common controls. But everything over here is known as control. Everything. And then, you know, properties. Those are the adjectives. Those are the things that describe the name, the text, the form, the picture box, whatever. If it's visible, if it's enabled, you know, what kind of font do you want it to have? And then the toolbox controls, left side. Yeah, whatever. I just showed you that. That toString, okay? It changes the numeric values in the variable into a string, so it can actually be outputted into the label, because labels take text. They don't take numbers, they take text. These are all the different operators that you can use. So plus, minus, times, divide, and this is like a whole divide, it rounds it. Modules, whatever it's called. Excuse me. And of course the caret symbol for power, like to the power of. So 2 caret 2 would be 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. Anyway, shortcuts. Of course, that can be put in the text thing, and then you could press Alt X, and it would actually activate that exit button and close the program. That is what we did here. That's what. See, E and XIT. So if I were to start this up and press Alt X, it closes it. Pretty nifty. And then we got the flow charts. That's pretty standard, you know. Pretty sure he's gonna have something like that on the test. We'll see what happens. Disk checks. Again, it's all just, to me, it's all just common sense. Line by line simulation. So you basically write everything down, usually on a piece of paper, and go through what the program would do and try to find your errors if there are any. If you didn't have the error checking, that's already in Visual Basic. Audits. It's backwards trace of the program. So again, it's basically the same as a desk check. I don't understand the difference between them. If you guys know it, enlighten me, please. Algorithm, again, that's basically what goes in processing. Whatever you do in there is an algorithm. Whatever you use to get your output. Intellisense are the pop-up things. So when you write in your code, it'll finish it for you. See, toString, common, all, that's Intellisense. Comments, again, that's a comment, that's a comment, that's a comment, that's a comment. Bugs or mistakes in the problem, you know, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I don't really think you need to know this stuff. Basically, there's 8 bits in a byte and 8 bytes in a, or 1,024 bytes in a kilobyte, but I don't think he's going to go that high. And it goes on from there. 1,024 kilobytes in a megabyte, 1,024 megabytes in a gigabyte. Yeah. ASCII2 is the American standard for code. I'm not really, I don't know how to explain that. Syntax is basically how the program, like, kind of how it works, like how, because normally in JavaScript you don't call it dim, you just call it var, and then you don't even have to do this. It's pretty cool. Logical errors are when the, oh no, that's about errors, my bad. So syntax errors are the blue lines. The blue lines being like when I declare this as a constant, you notice this is a blue line. They must have a value. You have to declare them. That's another thing. You have to declare constants. So that is a syntax error. Logical errors mean that you have like the wrong formula. That means when you run the code, like everything runs fine, but it's not giving you the correct answer. Runtime errors, when the program crashes and there's no input, bad input. I'm assuming that's when you, for whatever reason, forget to like put this in for text. I don't know. You have to be an idiot to do that, in my opinion, but whatever. Data type conversion converts text into, or text input to a number. I'm not sure. Not even sure what that is, actually. Alright. Well, I hope you guys have a good night. It's 9:15 right now. I'm gonna get going to bed. So I'm ready for that test tomorrow. I don't know about you guys. We'll see what happens. If you guys have any questions, I'll probably be in the TC or the DJ booth tomorrow around 10:30 to 10:30 to 2. I'll probably be over there or in Richardson Hall, room 116. If you need anything. And again, have a good night. Just any questions, let me know.